Hi everybody, welcome back to School of Scarlett. Today I have another message for you. So today's message is around the know-it-all. You may know someone who seems to know it all. You share with them something that happened to you and they seem to know everything about it even though they haven't been through it. You share with them a place that you've been and they seem to know it all even though they haven't been there. You share with them something that you learned or you experienced somewhere and they seem to know all the research, the data, everything around this, and they seem to know it all. Yet do they really? So this is sort of like a pattern or a virus running through the collective right now, that there is plenty of people who seem to know it all. They act like they know it all. They can't seem to listen or experience life for a direct experience because of all the preconceptions they already have about something or all the research they've already done about something, that they're not experiencing life anymore. They're only taking in information from books, from the internet, from AI, and all of these different sources, yet they are not out there experiencing life. So the know-it-all is really a problem that we're seeing with so many people because it really causes someone to really not see life as it is or experience it ever and go deeper with it. It's almost like a shield that they're wearing. And so something happened the other day when I was working with some students. These were younger students. We were doing an exercise that I had for them to look at a tree. And so it was like a tree like this one here behind me, and they were all to look at that same tree. And they were going to write a passage, write a couple paragraphs or something about the tree, describing the tree, how they saw it. And so when they finished the assignment, I went around and, asked each one to read what they had written. And each child had written something completely different. And, there were some similarities here and there, but there was not two that were the same or even written in the same way. And that is how reality is. When we directly experience it, one person's experience of it's not going to be the same as another, but the direct experience is valuable. You can't learn this from reading it in a book. You can't learn this from something else. You have to directly experience that to be able to speak on it, to be able to write about it. So with children, they have a very unique perspective that a lot of us as adults lose, and that's the child's perspective. And I'd like you to kind of take that into account in your life, because children are very unique in that even though I gave them that assignment to write that in the passage, to write a couple paragraphs of what that tree looked like, and each child came up with something different, their mind didn't stop there. The next day and the next day, they would go out and they would look at the tree once again. And then they would tell me, Miss Nydia, I want to tell you what I saw in the tree today. The tree has this, the tree has that. And so they would look deeper and deeper and deeper at the tree and see other layers of it that maybe we hadn't seen before. And so when we have a child's perspective, we don't really know everything. You're not really a know-it-all. You really don't know everything. You're kind of like an explorer. You're exploring this universe. You're exploring everything, and you're seeing different aspects of it each time. Every day, these things are born new, and they're ever changing. A tree is different today than it was yesterday. It has less leaves. It has maybe more leaves. It has more growth. Different things are happening all the time. So we can't ever know something completely. We can't ever pinpoint something completely. So when I had an experience that I would call like a non-dual experience, I saw through the illusion. And when I saw through the illusion, everything really became more alive. Even though I saw it as an illusion, I began to see everything more clearly. And so things that I thought I had seen before, like my rose bushes, I suddenly was seeing them in a different light. I was starting to see them more than just a rose. Because you see, when we just put a label on something, this is my rose bush, it's there. We expect to see roses. We expect to see them in that way, and so that's all they are. But when we're an explorer of our reality, when we see through the illusion, we see that these things are ever changing and infinite, we get very curious about them. We get curious about reality. So I can remember after that experience that I saw everything so vibrant and different. I can even remember laying down in the grass and seeing all the little insects in the grass and the little tiny flowers and things that grew in there that you would never see unless you literally lay down on the grass. But going back to the roses, when I went back by my roses at that time, it wasn't a rose bush anymore. It was something that I couldn't label anymore. Before, it was just a rose bush or a rose. But when we remove those labels and we realize what reality really is, we get curious about it, and I began to see them. I began to smell them. I began to feel them. I began to really look at the little wrinkles, at the smell, at everything about them. And those roses became more alive, and I began to experience aspects of them that I had never experienced when I had just been calling them a rose, when I had just been calling them the rose bush. Because when we label something or we think we know something, suddenly it's like it's done. We have learned what it is to learn about it, and we don't go any further in exploring it. So I want to challenge you today to keep a child's perspective in life, in all aspects of life. Even when someone's telling you a story about something you think is one way, you're going to come to find out through their stories, because I've listened to many people talk, that my experience of it and their experience of it is going to be different. So I can always learn something from just simply listening. But when you act like you know it all, you really shut down and you cut off that aspect of really experiencing reality deeper and deeper. So when we think that we know it all, it's almost like wearing rose-colored glasses. Everything looks rosy, like rose color, like pink. But, you know, we look at everything and it's that way. But until we take those off and we get back into our child's perspective, then we begin to see the vibrant colors and the differences of everything that is really around us. And life becomes more alive, and you can see everything for what it truly is. So you don't really know everything. Life is ever changing, and when we get to the point of understanding and surrendering to the fact that we don't know everything, we are surrendered so much that life becomes magical. That you go outside and you explore like a child, and magic really truly happens because you invite it in with your surrender. You invite it in with your wonder and curiosity about life. So the map is not the territory. You cannot just learn about something on the internet or ask AI about it and suddenly you know it all. You have to experience it directly. So go out there, have experiences of your own, experience the vastness of this universe and everything that it has to offer you. It's truly beautiful, and it goes deeper and deeper and deeper the more that you are surrendered to it. But if you don't surrender to it and you just think you know it all, you'll know what's written about it, but you won't have that experience of it. You won't have that deepness of it. So I really encourage you to, again, hold the child's perspective when it comes to reality. And so today's message really is about just realizing you don't know it all. Our mind wants to hold, you know, the ideas of what it has known in the past and create patterns and create stories and then give us what we think is the conclusion on what we're seeing. But if we don't hold everything like that, if we don't categorize everything like that and we see it brand new in this moment, you're going to find out that everything really is wonderful. It has an aspect to the aliveness that it holds, that it's ever changing. And you're going to experience reality much deeper, and you're going to experience your own personal reality. So if you're watching this channel and you're watching about, you know, spirituality or awakening or any of these things, you're going to be able to tap into and experience those aspects of yourself as well, where you have those openings more and more. Because if we're just studying something that someone else said and we believe it completely, we're not going to have our own experiences. And each awakening is very unique to you and your experience, but you have to be open to it. It's not going to be a certain way. There's not a blueprint out there that is exactly the same. Just like each child in my class could write a whole different paragraph about what this tree looked like, your awakening is going to be very different than another person's. And so just hold that openness and be willing to experience life as it comes. Be willing to be open to listening to others, to experiencing and holding various perspectives at once, knowing that there's not one set way. Even when we think that one religion is correct or one person is correct, we're really being very rigid. You'll come to find out in life, the more and more that you age and the older and the wiser that you get, that there is no one way. And the wonder of this world is something that we will never know. It's truly an illusion, and in this illusion, it's ever changing, it's infinite. You can't ever pinpoint it, and when you think you do, you're going to be surprised that it's not the way that you thought it was. I hope that this message found you well. If it did, if you enjoyed it, give me a like down below. It really helps my channel. If you're new here and you like this sort of content, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so that you can come back for my daily messages. I am offering one-on-one sessions right now and some course offerings. You can find that in my description. So I encourage you to check that out if that is something that you're interested in. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. I love you all, and I will catch you on our next message.